they can make some good stuff that I like. Not all of it, but I'm just saying that they could have done a lot better than that.
Well, here's the thing. Like you said, Microsoft makes a lot of good stuff. Microsoft's biggest enemy is actually them. In that Microsoft doesn't, in the same way Apple as a company doesn't know how to do something if they can't do a purely hardware solution. It's like they're out of their element if they have to go use this thing called the internet, or all of these features that have to do with, not having absolute control and actually letting the end user make some decisions. No, heaven forbid. But Microsoft has an opposite problem, and that the only way they know how to be in any industry or environment is when they're in charge.
Right.
And when they're the majority, and when everything just functions around them. They're not so good at getting into well-established markets where they don't get to set the rules and come in and play nice with others.
Well, with all due respect, haven't they done that before? Went into a well-established computer market and then dominated.
That was the thing. But ever since then, they haven't been able to recreate that. It's like when they come into a market now, they stumble, they stunt, they trip over themselves. I'll give you an example. It took them forever when they started coming into the server market. They finally are making headway there, but it took them forever to realize that they have to actually provide a good product. They have to actually provide the tools that people have and are using, not say, this is our tool, this is how it works, now use it. It took them a while to realize they have to actually compete. They have to actually... This is an established market. People already have the tools they need. You have to show them why yours is better, what yours does that the other guy doesn't, and so on and so forth. RIM, email management stuff, is a perfect example of that. And now nobody realizes that's Microsoft technology. But it is. That's Microsoft's technology. And Microsoft created that. It's one of the things Microsoft did well. They were able to create something well, and it's one of the few things where they didn't try and come in and just dominate a pre-existing market. They showed RIM what they did that others didn't. They showed RIM the problems they solved, and RIM said, "We like that. Let's use that." And over time, it became the standard for encrypted emails. There's a lot of stuff like that Microsoft does great. If Microsoft wants to get into the smartphone market, into the social media stuff, and into cloud-based services, not in the ways they are, but in the markets they aren't established in any way, shape, or form, they need to do that step. They need to humble themselves, and they need to realize they're not the first in this market. They're not the largest in this market. They do some things great. Focus on the things they do great. Don't try and make all roads lead to Microsoft. Do the parts they do great and add to the system. It's one of the things Microsoft's beginning to get very painfully and slowly. But at the end of the day, their ambition is to sell you stuff, so I think they will get it in the fullness of time.
I mean, it's kind of hard to... It's easy to compete when you just have one monopoly. And it's not... Well, not easy, but it's easier because you can offer something different. But when you have two people, like Apple and Android, that are doing almost opposite things in the way that they're having their operating systems in business, it's hard to get into that market, where are you supposed to offer, I offer this, but this already offers that, or I offer this, but that one already offers that,
Oh yeah, especially in that market.
That's another thing I have with WebOS. What is it going to offer that Android and iPhone doesn't offer already? And Symbian, for that matter. You got Symbian is still the biggest operating system for phones.
Yeah, the Symbian's a different character.
But WebOS can't get in that market either, so where are they going to get in,
I see what you're saying with WebOS. Honestly, I don't know. It's WebOS is also competing directly with iOS, which already has some traction. So, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, back to the Microsoft Jolly World. This has been posed in the forums, and I'm not saying this isn't true, but I'm holding reservations on this. For those of you who are wondering why we didn't do a full cross-platform browser thing, why we just did the Linux ones, we're waiting to see the shape the browser landscape takes. One of the things the forums was saying, I don't know if y'all were paying attention to the comments from last week, is that their IE9 is the best browser. You know, it makes everything else look like crap. Well, they weren't exactly saying that, but they were pointing out some of the ways, you know, it's like everybody else seems behind. As far as the public betas that Microsoft has started releasing with IE9, that seems to be true. However, when you do these comparisons, you go IE9 so far ahead. What you're doing is you're doing something like comparing IE9 to Safari 4 or 5. You're comparing IE9 to Firefox 3, or I forget what version Opera's on. You're comparing the next generation IE browser to the current generation other browsers.
Wait. In what way is IE9 ahead of everyone?
Well, okay, one of the ways that a lot of people jump on, and it's, for example, IE9 supports GPU, direct GPU plugin, and things like that. However, okay, you just like went silent for a moment. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, well, I'm saying that. I get that, and I really like that. But other browsers are going to get that pretty soon.
Well, no, that's the thing. Here's the thing. I think I'm waiting for the dust to settle. I'm waiting for all the next-gen browsers to come out and then to get out of beta and to get officially out. Because here's the thing. When I look at IE9, I see what Microsoft did with Windows 7 happening again. And that they're putting every feature out there in the public beta, in the public eye, in the thing to show, we have this, we've done it, we've saw it. Because if they hadn't done that with Windows 7, nobody would have bought it. And I think they learned from that and they realized, if we do this in the public eye, we're good, we're son. That's why you're seeing all these IE8 security commercials on TV. So I saw they've looked at the marketing statistics of what's happening to IE. IE has been continually declining. It's in danger of falling below the 50% threshold in the near future, not 5 years out, in a year or two. IE is in danger of falling below the 50% use model, and once it does that, nobody's going to go ass backwards to cater to IE. They're going to write their stuff to use modern internet and go, if it doesn't work, the logic test on the page will go, you need a modern web browser, and IE won't even be in the list anymore. As Microsoft has realized it's time to fix IE or lose the browser market. So when I look at all the stuff in IE9 and the public betas of IE9, that's what I see.
Honestly, I absolutely love the browser market right now. I think it is in such a great state of innovation.
It is. Well, and that's the thing. All the same innovations that are in IE9, like GPU support and better HTML5 support and things like that, it's, if you do your research, are actually happening at every browser right now. It's like Firefox 4 is already working on that. It's just not in their public beta 1. But they're doing it internally, and it's well known they are. Same thing with Safari, and what is it? Chrome's fixing to start, or is it Chromium? I forget. It's fixing to start releasing, what is it, a version every 6 weeks or something, where they go through their...
That was Chrome Stable.
Yeah, Chrome Stable, which is, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's, by the time IE9 gets here and is an official browser, I'm not sure these differences are going to be as large. In some ways, IE may have fallen behind again. I don't know that for a fact, but it's anyone's guess at that point.